I think we're live. Okay. Welcome. I'm Mark Zhang, president of the American Medical Extended Reality Association. We are doing a live from Augmented World Expo 2026 with the illustrious some members of AMXRA here. We're just going to do a round of intros. So, sir?
Yes, well, thank you. I'm Dr. Brandon Turner, a radiation oncologist, member of AMXRA.
Hello, I'm Jose Ferre. I'm a medical doctor in Barcelona, one of the members of AMXRA, not in America.
And also you're a fellow.
I'm a fellow,
You're an
yeah.
inaugural fellow of the Medical Extended Reality, FMXR, international cohort. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, yeah.
I am Rick Beaverman, CEO, co-founder of Sura Medical. We develop augmented reality software for preoperative planning, patient education, and training. We're a spin-out from the University of California, San Francisco, where we participated in over 150 surgeries.
And you're also like, I think you have the world record for most AMXRA monthly member meetings.
Mark, I take great pride in that.
You take
be
great
sure.
Well, thank you. So maybe I should start. We post these on YouTube. You guys are okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So this is what is this? Day 3, technically, of Augmented World Expo. Maybe just a poll. Is this anyone's first AWE? Jose. Okay. All right. Well, first, Dr. Turner. What's your take? What's your take so far?
Yeah, so my take generally is this has been excellent. The scale is probably the first thing compared to some of the other XR events I've been to, like Reality Hack or Harvard XR, VMed. This is just much bigger. And so it truly has not been possible to see all the things that I want to see. So I think that's been one thing that's been, it's a great problem to have. I can walk down the exhibition hall and it's like I could get stuck for an hour at each booth, but there's so many booths. I have to start being a little smart for my last day, I think, figuring out what I'm going to do. So that's probably first impression. It's just the scale and the size.
Jose?
Yeah, I'm comparing with the United XR Europe that happened last year. And of course, this is like 20 times bigger and so many things happening at the same time. It was already difficult to follow all the program there, but here it's just like you feel sad because you're missing so many things that you wanted to see and you can't. But I'm very happy that we have the healthcare track during the whole 3 days, the main 3 days, with a lot of sessions and very, very intense and interesting sessions in the healthcare track. So that's something that's different because also in the United XR, it changed last year. We didn't have it before. That was last year was the first one that we had the healthcare track.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And how was the healthcare track compared to what you're seeing at AWE?
It was smaller in matter of sessions, but there was a lot of interest. We didn't have a space for all the people wanting to enter the room.
Wow.
Because they didn't expect so much interest. They gave us a small room, and people were standing all around the room and queuing up to enter.
Incredible.
I've never seen that before.
Incredible.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah, very good sign. Rick, this is not your first AWE.
This is not my first.
How many AWEs?
So I have spent some time in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Earlier. It's my second year here in Long Beach, and for me, it's just a great event. Obviously, seeing all the new technology.
Yeah.
Interesting thing this year, I haven't tried on a single headset. It's all spectacles.
Yeah.
And then the other great part for me is the networking.
Yeah.
Okay. And not only seeing folks here in healthcare and in healthcare we're a relatively small group, so we kind of know one another.
Yeah.
But just meeting lots of other people, and the really great thing about this event is like you can just go up and talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And they're just happy to chat and link in and try to find areas of mutual interest. So for me, it's always such a wonderful 3 days or so.
Yeah. And again, it's where the interesting things happen at the intersections of intersections.
Yeah.
And I think AWE personifies that, right? Like just, everyone's very personable, and one you'll meet someone who's like a game developer, and then you'll meet someone who's in defense, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you just don't know where all of this stuff is going to lead.
Yeah. So some pretty big news from AWE. Just to run down some of the big keynotes. Snapchat or Snap and their spin-off company Specs announced their first consumer grade solution. Pretty cool. It's a see-through AR. Evan Spiegel kind of talked about the co-founder of Snapchat, and really I thought it was really fascinating how he kind of talked about the new spec as a computer first, right? It's like the paradigm is this is going to be a computer for your face, a face computer, right? And 2195 coming out this fall.
And just hope you don't wear glasses.
Just hope you don't wear glasses. But actually, the glasses situation is one that I think they figured it out, right? So they actually were considerate with like how they're going to do inserts, and
absolutely.
Yeah.
But as we've discussed, it makes an already expensive pair of.
It's going to be more expensive. Yeah. So what are your takes on that announcement?
So to me, that was super exciting. The thing I'm even more excited about is that they're building out their enterprise team. So at least in the near term, they're committed to enterprise, which serves all of us really well. And just fingers crossed, because at that price, you are assuming that the headset does all sorts of nifty things similar to what some of the headsets in the past have done, like Magic Leap, HoloLens, etc.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed for that, because that would be a clear move forward again for all of us.
Do you think it can be a true competitor, a true successor for HoloLens?
Hoping. I met with some of the enterprise guys today.
Yeah.
This is what they talked about. But for me, I when I see it, I will believe it a lot more.
Fair.
Yeah.
Jose, Brandon, what do you?
Well, a couple things. One, just to enhance that point, they didn't actually have it available for us to see, so it looked excellent. But what they had for us to try were still last year's models of spectacles.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how it actually works. One thing, and this is sort of continuing the point that you were making with the spectacles, at that price point, $21.95, we have been talking about anyone who purchases this, let's say it's an institution, would want to have the ability for multiple people to be able to use it. So having that sort of interchangeable lens capacity makes that feasible as an expense for people to buy. Right. The other piece that I was actually very excited about was the sort of attachable power that they had. So it has like I forget what they said, but the life on it was
4 hours of mixed use. Which is very ambiguous. It's very ambiguous.
I'm sure it's only the lightest of mixed.
Right.
So, but the ability to attach something on, which we'd have to see how durable that is and how feng shui that is. But I think that enhances the use cases where you can end up using it. It kind of takes the models of people that have these like pucks and makes it detachable. So it reminds me of the Windows, the Surface Book, where you could attach it.
Oh.
Like there were certain things you could do with it in tablet mode, but if you wanted the extra power, you attached it to the rest of the laptop. And that was a form factor. Both of those are form factors that everybody uses.
Yeah.
They combined them both and they made it optional. So you can decide, do you want to use the lightweight form factor, or do you want to use the heavier, more processing capacity form factor? I think that's a cool model to use for the field to make that something that people choose and can use.
Yeah.
The pricing, the pricing thing is going to, I think, is going to be interesting, because at that price, you're talking about AVP. I mean, you're not talking about typical consumer, and you are clearly, if you're in the consumer market, you're competing with the the Ray-Ban Meta folks, and those price points are much lower, which makes me believe that they will push enterprise even more, because it's really enterprise that can only pay those kinds of prices.
Yeah, absolutely. We have another AMXRA member joining. So Kabir, do you want to do a quick introduction? Yep.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. I'm Kabir Kasgur from Qualcomm, and this is my first meeting, so I'm just going to be a good listener today and not say much.
Thanks, Kabir. We were just talking about the keynotes, and just some hot takes and some thoughts. Specs. Really, another entrant has entered, a HoloLens contender,
Right.
and on the other end of that, XREAL and Qualcomm and Google really announced officially Project Aura is now XREAL Aura. Has anyone got a chance to play with that demo?
Yeah.
You just did now.
That's right. Just
Yeah.
today. Did you as well?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
did.
yeah, Brent.
I mean, so it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Actually, I tried a couple things that they had. So they have a massive booth with different sort of experiences where they're trying to showcase. Some of it is like the generative AI capacity. So for example, I think a key to this is it has processing on the device. So the demos that they were demonstrating today, these were not sort of connected to some other external CPU. It was all using the NPU and the Snapdragon.
It was a Reality Elite.
That's
Is
right,
that
the
the
Reality
new?
Elite.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the one
yeah,
that they were showcasing what it can do.
Yeah.
So everything that you saw was quite impressive for what could be done, on device. So one of those was showing, it's kind of like a diffusion model where you could move things around on a screen and then in real time it would adapt the environment. So it's like you could create sort of art and it would adapt to you moving elements around. Seeing it, there's probably going to be some videos that they'll release. Seeing it and also experiencing it was quite cool. I think one of the pieces that was interesting as I was talking to some of the PMs and marketing folks who were there is it's not clear that they actually, as a long-term goal, plan to use it, in a limited fashion, just processing on device. Some of the use cases in the future actually would be still having some combination of you have processing elsewhere coupled with processing on device. But when you have processing on device, that means that you can do things, for example, for the generative AI pieces. Maybe you save on tokens because you're doing things using their local model. They have like Google's like Gemma something number model that they're using.
Yeah.
So it just enhances the ability for them to kind of get the best of both worlds. But as far as what they were showcasing today, they were showcasing just the use case where we're not attaching or tethering to anything. We're just using the processing on device. And it was pretty cool what they could do with that.
Yeah. Jose, were you able to try it?
No, I wasn't.
No?
So I cannot give any feedback.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna spend some more time with it again. Us, so we're in the surgical planning space, and for us, what's critical is for our users to be able to manipulate the holograms, make to be able to simulate corrections with the holograms, to make virtual cuts, which would do with HoloLens. So with the specs, this is critical that they also be able to have this kind of functionality. So so again, still waiting on specs. I have a little more comfort around specs being able to deliver there than Project Aura, but reserving final judgment until I get my hands on both of them. I think the big winner here during this is Qualcomm. You've got chips in many of these devices, and you guys must be on cloud 9 right now.
I'll still continue to listen, but yeah, enabling our partners is always a good thing. So yeah, definitely seeing all of this come to fruition is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So good for you guys.
Well, I will say, and just to give a little bit more context, so Project Aura is the first kind of new small form factor, kind of clear see-through kind of Android XR compute. So I think that there's a marketing term they call, but basically the compute is separated from the actual headset, and it's essentially in a puck where the battery is. And the glasses themselves kind of look like XREAL kind of display glasses, right? So very lightweight with full fat Android XR with like pretty smart compromises to the experience. So 70-degree field of view, You know, from a vertical perspective, I thought it was a, you know, maybe there's some opportunity to grow the verticality of the field of view, but from a horizontal field of view, pretty incredible. And you know, what's exciting about, I would say, Project Aura, it hit all the like the lizard brain nerd components of like my mind, right? Like this is the first kind of consumer headset that I could see being a true kind of personal computer for like a replacement for frankly for my laptop when I travel, like without compromises, you know, which is like pretty exciting. And then, you know, when we talk about, I think the theme, as I think about like this AWE, we're seeing some real contenders for potentially the next HoloLens for MetaXR, right? Like Project Aura.
Absolutely. It's if it isn't here with you know, between Aura and specs, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, and then in the exhibition hall, you know, we had some dedicated headsets, both in the industrial side, but also you know, Snake was there, and oh my gosh, it was another orthopedic company that had a bird bath based headset for ortho procedures. I mean, it's really happening. There's a lot of really awesome opportunities. Yeah. Well, so speaking of the exhibit hall, what did you all see? Anything that like made you interested, excited? What's your take?
I was trying one of the speckles with the hand tracking was very impressive, I must say.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to work so well. Because you have the option to grab, to distant grab, and it was very stable. I was very the one with the external battery. And
oh, that Project Aura then, or which one were you trying?
no, I'm not sure.
I was impressed with the hand tracking on Aura.
It might be the Aura. Yeah, it's the one with the game that you have the board and they can move. Is it that one?
No, they had a individual and you kind of manipulated the.
That one is Demio.
Demio. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Project Aura. Yeah. So it was very good.
Yeah.
I think that is something it's a game changer because they didn't used to be so precise and so stable.
Quite good. You can see how the combination, like the trade-offs between a fully immersive like a headset, something like that, is I think acceptable, right? Like, I mean, I could see medical simulation and training using this, and the form factor is easier for, I would say, portability. You could like bring like 3 of them.
Yeah.
It'd be in the same space as like a Quest 3 with case, right? Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you know, this is a thing that I always, I'm always like really anal about. We all wear glasses here, actually, right? So you all should be anal about this. It's about how you solve the prescription lens situation. And we were talking about with specs. It made sense. We were like, these inserts are going to be easy on, easy off.
This I'm adding to my list of anal things.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah. No, but like you're going to pay like $2,300, $2,200. You want something that can be not a one person thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was a I wasn't able to make the talk because there's too many things again going on concurrently, but I don't know if any of you saw, there was someone who was giving a talk on using, I think, some sort of fluid compression approach to sort of modify the prescription. So the idea is instead of having separate inserts, it actually is going to be one device with a sort of fluid cavity, and then they can use different ways of, it's like basically changing the convexity of the lens. And part of what they also were showing they could do with this is it can also change your depth of perception as well in the same way. So not just using it to correct for normal sort of like eyesight near or short-sightedness, but even for someone that has the same vision, they can use it to change how deep and how far you're able to see with it. That to me seemed like a cool way also to get around this question of, does everyone have to bring and carry around in their pocket, or we have to sort of maintain and then keep cleaning the different lenses, which of course over time will degrade or scratches with each use, or do you have this thing that's dynamic and that over time can sort of adapt to everyone's vision? Now, I didn't actually go to the talk, but this was just from me reading on it, and it sounded super exciting.
So conceptually, it's almost like you can set up your like, you know, your Tesla car seat so that it just knows your position, and that's like your prescription, right? Once you have your profile.
Exactly.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, and hopefully there'd be ways you can just sort of calibrate this, right?
Yeah.
Like you can put it on, it can do a couple quick little checks for you,
Yeah.
and this could be done automatically, and it calibrates.
That's really cool. What else did you guys see that really made you excited?
So I don't know if you guys saw on the main stage, and I'm trying to remember which topic, but there was someone presenting from UPMC.
Okay.
In terms of surgical. Did you guys see this?
No.
And there was a guy from Stanford, and both were incredibly impressive in terms of what they're doing, the UPMC stuff, surgical planning stuff. They're very into it, into lots of studies and proving out all the XR stuff. I was very impressed with that. And then the guy from Stanford, and it was the talk was about use cases for spectacles. And the guy at Stanford was talking about how difficult it is to replicate experiments, and that lab folks, after 6 months, only 50% of them can actually replicate an experiment that they did 6 months ago. And he also cited the fact that other researchers, 70% cannot replicate an experiment done elsewhere. And what they're doing now at Stanford is they're wearing the spectacles, wearing the Ray-Ban Metas, and they are recording everything they do with an experiment. So they have actually a physical record instead of everything kind of written down on a piece of paper. Everything, every movement, everything they did in terms of conducting the experiment. That was really impressive.
So Rick, I wonder if this is actually, so there was I don't know if you guys saw the Vtour NVIDIA booth in the exhibit hall. Vtour is building a new kind of almost like a Meta Ray-Ban, but for labs, right? So it's really cool. So it looks like protective glasses and has a camera, audio.
Sorry, this was the Dell?
This is Dell, yeah. This is the Dell.
So
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
this is my mistake. This was the Dell presentation.
This is the Dell presentation.
This was the Dell presentation.
Yeah.
My mistake.
No, this is the Vtour Horizon. That was very interesting. Very interesting because it's basically Ray-Ban Metas for the lab. And the functionality was very much, recording procedures, having that computer vision, computer AI assistant if you need to know how to do a procedure or whatnot. Right. No heads-up display, but a really interesting kind of translation of the utility that we have now with just the lightweight, the most lightweight, in a spectrum of kind of wearable kind of computers. The most lightweight one is the Ray-Ban Meta, right? Without display, that type of thing. Right. They've created an industrial version of it. It's pretty cool.
All they're doing is recording.
Yeah. I was actually with some other AMXRA members who are surgeons. I was asking one of them, it was Patrick Thomas. He's a pediatric surgeon. It's like, would you wear this in the OR, to record your procedure? He was like, yeah, at some point maybe, right? This is the first step, I think, to having intelligent computer vision in a clinical setting. It's really cool.
Is the scenario you're thinking of, is that it'll write the op note for you at the end?
Of course. That's
I mean, that's
right?
how you get them. That's how you get people.
Yeah.
You reduce some amount of the burden afterwards.
This is the trade-off. If we're going to live in a world where everything is recorded, we should get some benefit from it. Right?
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, what's interesting also is you think about whether that also, everything's data right now, operative data. At the moment, the best way to capture it is if you're in a Da Vinci or some other sort of machine, there's a video that's recording every movement. You wonder if you can start getting at some of these non-robotic, maybe even non-laparoscopic cases, but with a headset like this, you're now actually recording the kind of data that you could use to train some of these future robotic type approaches or something else. I mean, and previously we just don't have an easy way to get cameras into those sort of operating scenarios. But if you can actually wear it in an unobtrusive way on your face, now you can actually start collecting some of that data. And it's even interesting to think about if you have multiple people around the table, what that unlocks by having multiple vantage points into the same space. Sort of similar to, when you have a Da Vinci, you've got multiple, camera ports and it's not just one. So
yeah, it's really cool. So I thought that was a very cool booth. So there are some others that I thought, I got to be honest, like my sense of like just general vibe of AWE is, I think it's exciting. This is in the ups and downs of extended XR in this industry, and particularly MetXR, sometimes there's a trough, and sometimes
we got to keep it up.
Right. And I feel like this one, the general feel is there's excitement. There's new, and not only in the near horizon, but also in the distant horizon. There's some really cool technology in the exhibit halls that I think a couple of years from now could be major. So there was a company, XREAL, I believe is the name. They had a solution. It was I'm going to butcher this, but basically it was a light field holographic kind of projector that instead of using like a waveguide for smart glasses, it projected a light field hologram onto kind of the display. It didn't have a functional one, so this is all conceptual. But the benefit of that is that you can then, you had basically infinite focus of this hologram, right? So it wasn't on a fixed plane. So, you could just like focus in and out, right? And the demo was one where certainly as you think about 3D model, like, I don't know what you guys would do with Sierra, you could just have like a holographic kind of image representation in a really cool way. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
That was very cool. And then I think on the same vein of holograms, there are a couple solutions that I thought just blown me away with like some of their demos of like the state of current hologram technology.
Yeah.
So there was a company called Spaceport. I don't know if you guys saw that. It looks like a futuristic water fountain, and it basically creates one of the most solid holograms I've ever seen. And it was a probably the size of like a one of those plastic pumpkins for getting trick or treating. Like it was like the size of a pumpkin pail, and it was a leprechaun with a pot of gold, and it was just turning. And holy heck, it like looked solid, like very stable. Very stable.
Yeah.
Didn't use a fan or anything like that. It was something to do with the convergence of like light beams or something like that. You had to be in one specific place for it to work. So that was the downside, but like you could see something like that being pretty exciting. But actually on that same vein, there was another very early company, Avalon Holographics.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
That was
I know
really
those guys. Yeah,
really
Yeah,
interesting.
we've actually given them some models. Were they showing any anatomical?
They were.
stuff?
They were. Yeah.
That one of them may have been ours.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to kind of lay it out, Avalon is basically creating like kind of a 3D portal. It kind of looks like a well, right? It's like a table, and it's through hundreds of thousands of tiny micro projectors, is my understanding. It'll create essentially a fairly stable 3D image that is not position specific. So you can walk around it, and it totally works. It's spatial.
Yeah.
And I would say generously, the current technology is at the level, we're all of a certain age, I would say. Current technology is at a level where the resolution reminds you of Real Player. Like there's like compression, like it's just not super high.
It's also it's a big piece of equipment.
It's a big piece of, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah. Right now.
But very, very
But
exciting.
I know they're trying to get everything onto just a screen.
Yeah.
Just a simple screen is where they're trying to move with that.
Yeah.
What's also interesting about the fact that you can access it from different vantage points, we were talking about this, just to sort of bring some of the medical perspective, is tumor board, as an example, was something we thought about, where I think at so many institutions we've gone virtual now because there's not really a reason for people to all be in the same place anymore. This actually, when I saw it, I thought, this is a real reason that I would want to gather around a table of people, and we could all be looking at the same thing, but we don't have to all be like me and Jose, like right next to each other from the same vantage point. we can truly look around and we can all examine cases together and look at anatomy together and things of that nature. I thought this was a cool demonstration of technology taking us in a direction that is actually not making it easier for us to be apart, but giving us enhanced capability when we're together.
But here's my counterpoint. I agree.
Yeah.
But I think the question is like, why not just use like XREAL or specs or
So that was one of my, okay. So that was one of my questions as well. And I actually asked them this because I was like, it seems obvious. And I think they were open to that idea of like, yeah, maybe like that is one use case. However, there are scenarios where, let's say, for example, you wanted to go through it with a family. Do you really want to put it on like a 90-year-old grandma who's like not going to have as much ability or comfort with using it?
Yeah.
It's a limited number of people that you can then have headsets for in a given setting. Although given the current price, it's probably cheaper to have headsets than that box. But
by far.
by the time they get that price down, that might be different.
Yeah, maybe. But if you if it's 90-year-old person, I don't know if they are that excited about walking around a box.
Not as much.
We just a small plug. It's why we developed a mobile app, and we've got a HoloLens application, a mobile application. So we could just hand a iPad to a 90, and I think they would get the same kind of experience,
Right.
or something, a worthwhile experience at the very
The
least.
spatial nature can be just replicated through a pane. Like the iPad becomes a window
Right.
into the spatial representation.
Yeah.
That's enough. Yeah.
Good having you.
Yeah. Well, so what else? Like tell what takeaways from AWE so far?
Yeah, it's everything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a super exciting time. So we're hopeful, very hopeful.
Can I tell you one thing that surprised me, and maybe it's not surprising to others? A takeaway that I had when I shared with folks that I was part of AMXRA and what I did, there were so many people that were excited at finding opportunities to partner with someone who has an understanding of medicine or the medical system.
Yeah.
There was, for example, a game designer that I spoke to in one session, and he was like, we're thinking about how to gamify learning and training. We're worried that in the medical context, they might see like games not being taken seriously. And, we had a conversation about terminology, but he very much wanted to he felt like that was the space where both, I'd say, from an economic opportunity, there's a lot of opportunity. I think also from a meaningfulness for a lot of people, it felt like this would be a space where you really feel like we're transforming things for people in a way that can be both playful and fun, but that also has real deep implications.
That's great that people want to get involved. You just hope they understand that putting a game out is very different from doing some healthcare training or operative planning or behavioral therapy. It's just very, very different.
Yeah, but it's a clear sign on the industry, and that's why we are having a bigger healthcare track on this kind of events, like we had in the United XR, and we have now. Last year we have the Meta Hackathon in Barcelona. I was one of the mentors from my other hybrid side of XR developer, but I was trying to influence the teams to do something with purpose. Do something that you could see your grandmother benefiting from. So they were, in 2 days, they were creating things like a virtual cane, for example, with the MetaQuest, and it was like doing like that with the controller, and it was making different noise depending on if it was hitting the chair, the table, the wall. In 2 days, they developed that.
Wow.
And there were 5 teams doing healthcare teams of the game they were developing. So and in our session in the roundtable, there were 2 volunteers from the art school that came to the session because they wanted to do something with a purpose to help people.
Oh, well, speaking of which, actually, it just reminded me. There's a company in the startup section that I think you know, Jose, right? What's it called again?
It's BL Glasses.
BL Glasses.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they developed a software to help people with very low sighting, like 5 or 10% of the remaining sighting, because of it's a couple. The woman is a medical doctor. She works with me actually in my hospital, and the guy is the developer. and they have a son who has a very, very limited sighting. So they started the whole idea because of that, and they are doing an amazing job because it's still early stage, but it's I think it's going to go very, very good.
No, the concept is really smart. It's basically like a really practical application of computer vision to enable like warnings as someone is walking down the street, right? It's kind of like there's a solution. I don't know if it's international. It's definitely in the U.S. It's called Be My Eyes. Do you guys know about this? Yeah. So basically, it's like you have and you can like people volunteer for this, and you use like Skype or an equivalent, and like someone with sight like looks through the camera and is the eyes for someone with low vision. And this is like a automated version, right? Like an AI-ified version of Be My Eyes, which is very cool.
You can try that. They have a booth there.
Oh, I'd love it. Not the Be My Eyes.
Tomorrow.
I mean,
The VR glasses.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking about what Rick was saying, and also what you were saying as far as the energy that's there, and it's a good sign for the industry. I do think sort of there's the buzzsaw of working in healthcare and the high regulatory burden, the high complexity. There's so many aspects, the billing and all these pieces. It's very difficult for people to navigate. But that also became clear to me that there's such a role for, I forget what it was called in one of the sessions, but someone mentioned that we need more, we're called like innovation agents or innovation.
I was.
You were at that. That's right. You were in that one.
Yeah. So it's great. That's great. So with a lot of the kind of the health systems, hospitals, especially the academic medical centers that we deal with, they actually have an innovation office. A doc, a clinician who's in charge of innovation, and this person actually should be a clinician, and each of the specialties has a doc there who wears the mantle.
That was me.
Right.
That's Jose actually.
Okay, but look, I see this at UCSF, at UC Davis. They've got these folks out there. Yeah.
But how do we? Is this do you see this more so at academic centers and less so in the sort of community, even if they're large health systems?
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's where the patients are, right? I mean, that's where most patients will be treated, not at academic medical centers. And it's good to partner with the academic medical centers, but you also want to find ways to get traction into the other types of facilities. And I know that's part of the challenge. Is like, what is the model for that? How do you do that?
All right, guys. I think we're going to closing thoughts. So my closing thoughts about this AWE, I was actually telling Kabir this as we were going here, but I feel like what we've been seeing in the whole, like, not medical XR, but just XR industry, like a couple of years ago, we were at this fish level, right? Like the fish, and it's like that evolution picture. And we are now definitively in Fish with Legs, the amphibian series, right? Like this transition to the next big thing. And that's kind of exciting, right? So we're seeing all of these like kind of new form factors, newly reconsidered kind of pieces of hardware that are replacing some of the old guard, like HoloLens, potentially Specs or Project Aura, and it's exciting.
No, we are moving from desktops to laptops.
Desktops to laptops.
That's what we're doing.
Yep. But right now, maybe it's like the briefcase laptop, right? Where we're like transitioning slowly, but it's getting there, and I think that's exciting. So I am leaving AWE with a little bit more hope. Brad.
Definitely more hope, and I'd say more excitement. And maybe one last thing I'll say, that I was thinking about these sort of converging trends, and there's this idea in like science where sometimes certain innovations require another innovation first before it can really be taken forward. And I was thinking, and I was talking to people about development and how tools like Cursor and Claude Code actually make it even easier for people to start developing XR applications now.
Oh yeah, so we're taking full advantage.
Exactly.
Of that.
So that now is like that wasn't an XR story per se, but it has totally transformed who can get involved, how quickly they can iterate, what's possible to build.
And the other kind of exciting thing for us with this is we have so much more control over what we're doing and over our code.
Yeah.
And it just makes us feel so much better. Okay.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can control what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm very positive too. As I said, it's not the first time that I have this impression that we had the European version, and it was the same. The healthcare interest is growing. I think we had a very disappointment period with XR, with all the hype with AI.
Yeah.
And I think the healthcare industry inside the XR area is one of the ones that survived the best. And that's why we are standing out against when you compare with the other industries, because the other ones took a very big drop.
Yeah, there are like legitimate uses for the spatial components of XR in healthcare, right? Like, and you know, you can tack the AI, but you don't need it. Like, there's already some value in being able to have that spatial. Right, right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Just I echo everything that's been said. Looking forward to next year and,
Yeah.
and seeing how many of these things actually come to fruition. So
That's the next test. Do we
Yeah.
go to another trough of disillusionment, or are we? Does the roller coaster continue?
yeah, no, fingers crossed.
Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
fingers
All right.
crossed.
Where can people find you, Rick?
The email rick.bieberman@suromedical.com. Is the easiest through LinkedIn or other, some of the other social platforms. So.
Excellent. Jose?
For me, LinkedIn is the easiest one. So Jose Ferrer Costa. You can find,
FMXR.
yeah. You can find me there.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah. LinkedIn is also probably the easiest. Brandon Turner. I work at Mass General. And then also, you can always email Brandon_Turner@dfci.harvard.edu.
You got an underscore. I
got the underscore.
I didn't realize they were doing underscores.
When your name is, they really want to spell it out for people. It's complex without the
Oh,
underscore.
I am H Zhang 37. So there applies there 36 others. So no underscore.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
excellent.
only one user.
Only one. Well, maybe we'll see.
Digital twins of Flip,
Actually, there are a couple. There are a couple of Mark's eggs. It's actually protective, I think. So,
Fair enough.
anyways, thank you guys.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. I think I'm looking forward to the next one. And what a time to be alive. Huh?
Yeah.
All
Thanks,
right.
Mark.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's close this out.
Cool. That was really